And welcome everybody to the Daily Space Weather. We're broadcasting live once again from the banks of the River Styx here. This is SNN, least busted name in news. Lots of stuff to cover once again. It's going to be exciting. First, a 48-hour video of the sun in 94 angstroms. A good view of Sunspot 2778 in the lower right, and you can also see some evidence of coronal mass ejection coming out of that active region in the north, slightly to the west longitude now is where those coronal mass ejections have been coming from, and they're still not quite done releasing. So it's an ongoing like a 2-day long coronal mass ejection happening right now. We'll get into it. By the way, the SDO is located at Lagrange Point 1, the same place as the Discover spacecraft. And now we're looking at the LASCO C2 to show you that most, if not all, the ejecta is expected to miss to the east. You can see it coming out of the left side of the coronagraph there. Here's the C3. So not a lot happening on the right side. And since the Earth orbits the Sun in this fashion, the Earth's actually moving away from that ejecta. Not expecting to see anything from that. Here's a shorter video in 304 angstroms. There's only one day. Let's speed that up to keep the video as short as possible. And you can see some filamentary activity right around here. And that's associated with those coronal mass ejections. Let me rock that back and forth. You can see right there some filaments moving around, some ejecting, some undoubtedly collapsing back onto the sun. And let's get to some more custom movies. We've got some great ones on HelioViewer. But first, let's check out the view from Lagrange Point 5, Stereo A's coronagraph. And here you can see, as I sort of forecasted 2 days ago, you can see some ejecta coming out of the opposite side of the sun, as well as on the Earth side. And this is sort of a common occurrence. And that coronal mass ejection may not be complete yet. I wouldn't be surprised to see it continue on for a little while. No idea how long. And let's look at some close-ups of Sunspot 2778. We have seen some solar flares coming out of that. A bunch of B-class flares have happened in the past 24. And bear with me for one moment while I check the life of the stream here at SNN. Again, thanks to all our new viewers, old viewers, medium viewers, etc. And we are good to go. Next, we're going to look at the fields. And a great close-up view of the magnetic fields here associated with Sunspot 2778. You see that leading South Pole polarity, and the trailing North Pole polarity makes it a member of Sunspot Cycle 25, or you could say Solar Cycle 25. And last but not least, we've got the 171 angstroms view of the same area. And this one has actually grown a bit over the past, say, 48 hours. We've also got, once again this morning, I see umbre down here, as well as in this active region out of frame up here. Not sure if those will get named or not, but I've seen umbre in both of those areas 2 days in a row. Not sure why those aren't named. It looks like certainly there are more sunspots than are currently named. I'll let that play through a second time, as that is a spectacular light show there. And you can see the way the fields are interacting in 171 angstroms. One of the ionized emission spectral states of ionized iron. I believe it's iron 19 or iron 18. UV emission spectra. Again, the radio flux, the 10.7 centimeter radio flux now at 75, and thanks new viewers for tuning in. It is a very close proxy for sunspot number. They are quite directly correlated over a long, long period dating back to 1947. KP index is currently at 3. And here you can see all of those B-class solar flares, a bunch of C-class solar flares actually. A whole series of C-class solar flares. And we got all the way up to a C6. I believe that was. So quite a bit of flaring, although it has calmed down since the peak, which was around 6 o'clock yesterday. We covered it on the channel. If you want to watch close-ups of that, watch yesterday's daily space weather video. It's all linked at youtube.com/smAsho/playlists. Nothing to write home about in the proton flux. Let's move on to the real-time solar wind. Quite steady here over the past 24 hours in terms of density and speed. The phi angle has recently started to shift around, perhaps an indication that the coronal hole wind stream is going to come to a close here. So I would expect this to ramp down here in the next 12 hours as we have a continued elevated solar wind speed here at 514 kilometers a second. Solar wind density 8.6 protons per cubic centimeter. Next, looking at magnetohydrodynamic pressure in the magnetosphere, a view from the Earth, a view of the Earth both from the top and from the side. Sort of a 90-degree perspective shift here on these two panes. It's 4 hours of data, and that high pressure is all a result of the increased solar wind speed from that coronal hole associated with the North Polar region, which is now sort of rotating out of the Earth-facing zone. And again, we should see that subside in the next 12 hours. Next, looking at ground magnetic perturbations, since we're living through a polar excursion, we show this daily. If you want to see what happened around this time on another day, well, there's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of daily space weather videos in our playlists. Go back and have a look. Tell your friends, foes, science noobs, and science pros about the channel. Here's the GOES magnetometer, and there's no way that happened. That's just not a thing. It's probably missing data, although I'm not sure exactly how they quite ended up with that. Usually it shows an arc jet moment. So not sure what's going on with the GOES 16. Hopefully not any damage. It could be caused by the electron flux. As the electron flux is very high, we are in an electron storm right now. Here's the magnetic information about the heliospheric current sheet. And the Earth is probably already in the South Pole current sheet, as I sort of forecasted yesterday. South Pole current sheet shown in red, North Pole current sheet shown in green. They're pretty equivalent right now, at least in the Earth portion of the ecliptic disk. Here's a line of sight field plot. No major changes in the B field here, which is shown in blue. Let's move on to the coronal magnetic field plot. I would note, yesterday we saw this also, these persistent coronal hole potential field force lines out here pointed out towards stereo A. That's a little odd. So it could be some erroneous data though, so nothing to really write home about there. And it also shows potential field force lines that are open in black and potential field force lines that are closed in pink. And we've got another Smash Light segment. I'm your host, Dan, aka smAsho Mash. It's always exciting to have Smash Light segments, even when you're broadcasting over here at the banks of the River Styx. Not exactly sure what's going on with that. And yeah, we do this regularly here at the Smash News Network because, well, while we would prefer to focus on science subjects, our hand gets forced in a lot of situations to talk about other stuff. So let's move on. By the way, if you haven't visited smashomash.org, smashomash.com, please visit our links. All our social media links are there, as well as our affiliate link, Smash Store, link to the Smash Forum. Today's featured product on the affiliate link at smashomash.com/affiliate is the Go Wise 3.7 quart programmable air fryer in purple. Yeah, you can get it in colors. Are you concerned about the fashion of your kitchen appliances? You can get it in white if you're one of those Apple fans. Anyway, we've got one of these. It's fantastic. There is actually a video about it where we made red beet chips on the channel, as we have an Ownage food and drink series, so perhaps consider picking up one of those. The Go Wise 3.7 quart programmable air fryer. It is fantastic, and we've been using the heck out of ours. We've had it for a couple years now, and it is a delight. Congratulations to Atmanhotep on the forum. Atmanhotep has won the October contest, and if you want to see how we did it, again, congrats to Atmanhotep. Please respond to the email we sent so we can get this shirt sent out to you as soon as possible. You just have to tell us the size, color, shipping address, etc. Here's how we determined the winner. We went to, I searched for quantum random number generators, and I got this ANU QRNG site. So I threw 9 dice, just like this, and this is actually the winning sequence right here. And I picked the first number from each set, and whichever one appeared the most was the winner, and that was number 4. And that's it. Contest is complete. Atmanhotep expect to receive the only shirt that exists on Earth. Please don't cast it into the river Styx. And please represent smashomash.org in good faith. By the way, we are streaming live to Twitch, something we do regularly at the Smash News Network, because the platform is fantastic. So if you want to see the content live as it gets created, it's twitch.tv/smashomash. We typically do the daily space weather videos there. Also, don't forget to follow us on Twitter, twitter.com/smashomash. And if you order anything on Teespring, don't forget to enter the promo code MANSA. It's going to expire on November 1st, for 3 more days through October 31st at midnight. All orders will receive a 10% discount by applying the promo code MANSA. So don't forget to follow me on Twitter, as there's going to be exclusive content there, and we can't talk about everything all the time. There's all kinds of stuff going on about the COVID, and it's just becoming a joke. What a pathetic and infantile response by mankind. If you enjoy the content, please press like and subscribe on YouTube. Don't be COVIDiots. Press like and subscribe. Leave a comment. Tell your friends, foes, science noobs, and science pros, and don't forget to share on your social media. If you've got an influencer or somebody you'd like us to interview, hit me up. You can email me at smashomash@gmail.com. All those links and stuff are located at smashomash.com. Smashomash@gmail.com is the public email address for things like media relations. Also, don't forget to check us out on BitChute, bitshoot.com/smashomash. Please branch out into alternative tech, as there are some issues with big tech that we won't get into, just like there are some issues with corruption. Yes, corruption. How about a little corruption for you? Well, you have to subscribe to figure it out. Thanks to our patrons, the true source of funding for the content. We might not even be doing this anymore if it wasn't for our patrons. Thanks to our patrons for increasing the probability that these videos remain free and publicly accessible, as we consider regularly axing the entire channel, making all the videos private, etc., only available to those who pay for it. And thanks again for tuning in to another episode of the Smash Lights, as we broadcast here live from the River Styx. We've got to get back to science data, space stuff, and so on. We don't want the video to be too long, so let's talk about electrons. There are a lot. And we are not back into as high levels as we saw a couple of weeks ago here. but the forecast is to see higher levels. We see significant charging hazards once again over the southern hemisphere. And there's the relativistic electron forecast. NOAA forecasting a little higher levels here, and I would tend to agree once that coronal hole wind stream subsides, you're going to see a little higher levels here. You could see major satellite problems, communication issues happening, GPS errors, etc. There's a 3-day graph of the electron flux. Here's a visualization of the total electron content forecast. This is showing you the entire air column, all the way out to the edge of the thermosphere where GPS satellites reside in their geosynchronous orbits. We see some minor electron anomalies here over North America once again, but they are subsiding. Otherwise, pretty normal looking total electron content forecast. Next, we'll look at one slice of the atmosphere, just the ionosphere layer. And it's looking a little anomalous here. And if you're used to looking at this daily, you can probably agree. Not super weird, though. Here's the latest image. That one coming in at 9 o'clock Universal Time. If you're up before dawn, you may see Venus, the third brightest object in the sky. My favorite planet. Please leave a comment if you've viewed the Scrying with smAsho playlist, where I make ridiculous forecasts and sometimes am right, despite the ridiculousness of the forecasts. For instance, I suggested that Mars and Venus would switch places, and then, like 2 days later, discovered that the likelihood of life on Venus has been discovered with phosphine gas in the atmosphere, making it likely that there's life currently on Venus. Not so much evidence for Mars. Here's where stuff is in the solar system. We're approaching a full moon, blue moon, which happens on Halloween. It should be a very exciting Halloween. Hopefully you've locked yourself in an underground vault or something like that. Because, you know, COVIDiots. There's where things will be in 7 days, 1 week, on November 4th, when the election will be decided, and I'll be in an underground vault, surrounded by thousands and thousands of thousands of feet of granite, reinforced concrete, depleted uranium, Faraday cages, and we've got a tank down there too. Don't worry, it's an M1A3 tank, and it doesn't require a crew. It's got auto-loading and a firewall. Next, looking at earthquakes here. Over the past day, we don't see anything over a 6 magnitude. Let's scroll up the list, citing anything that I'm interested in. Here's the deep quake at the Banda Sea. I think the largest of the past 24 was this 5.5 at Indonesia. There was also a significant 5+ magnitude in the Aleutian Islands. We'll get to it. So just scrolling up the list, oh, there we go. That 5.5 in the Aleutian Islands was at depth, hopefully not a predecessor to a larger quake, as we saw a 7.4 magnitude not too far from there. And we're still seeing aftershocks from that, it looks like. That 5.5 at 233 kilometers depth. Here is another deep quake at Argentina. It's a 4.6 at 186 kilometers depth. Next, looking at volcanodiscovery.com to see Karimsky. May or may not be erupting, but the volcanic ash is not identifiable in satellite imagery. Abiko, now back on the list, flight level 100, 10,000-foot ash plume there. Suwanosejima, 7,000-foot ash plume there. Dakono, 7,000-foot ash plume there. Pacaya exploding, as it has recently rejoined the list, 12,000-foot ash plume there. Volcanic ash not seen at Sangay. Revenador's exploding, flight level 160, 16,000 feet. And Sabancaya also exploding, flight level 240, a 24,000-foot ash plume is emanating from the caldera. Please do not attempt to pole vault it. It could be unhealthful. We've got some more unfortunate hurricane warnings on the Gulf Coast. Not nice for Alabama, Mississippi, and Louisiana, and a little bit of the Florida panhandle as well. Ouch. And check it out. We've got winter storm warnings and a hurricane warning right side by side on the same map. Ever seen that before? I certainly haven't. Next, looking at nullschool.net to see part of the explanation for this is this crazy dip in the jet stream injecting massive cold air way down south, indeed deep into Mexico. So extreme meridional jet stream flow. Check it out. The jet stream's flowing the wrong way here, flowing east to west, all over the place is that jet stream in the west. Let's check out the eastern jets. Here are the jet streams of the eastern world. Here's some more data. Here's where pressure maps are now. Here's where pressure is now. Here's where we expect it to be at 12 noon tomorrow. Look at that sudden low pressure forming there. What is up with that? That low pressure just shows up out of nowhere. Let this advance here. So that is a fast-moving hurricane there. Very fast-moving. There's where we expect it to be at noon tomorrow. Surprisingly fast-moving there. That's pretty odd. That's a weird one. That's one for the record books, folks. By the way, we've got lightning striking. I like to use lightningmaps.org when I hear thunder. Lots of lightning over the northern South America there and the Caribbean, as well as the Pacific Mexico southern coast. Here's the NASA GOES 16 lightning mapper, and you can see significant lightning associated with that hurricane. An indication that it's pretty powerful. It's also got a well-defined eye wall. We'll get to it. First, the U.S. Doppler radar map. As we see ice continuing to fall in heavy fashion there over the Texas stovepipe. Please leave us a comment. We hope you're doing okay down there and that your power is turned on. In fact, let's take a quick look. See how many power outages have been being caused by all of this wind and stuff. I know there's been some voluntary outages in California. Only 28,000 of the 10 million tracked. 310,000 out of power in Oklahoma, and 40,000 of 12 million tracked out in Texas. That's a significant portion of Oklahoma there, like 1/15 of the state. And let's move on to some satellite imagery. We're going to show you the hurricane. Yowzers. And we're using the NASA GOES Interactive Weather Satellite's short-wave radiation map, as it is dark over the Gulf. So a somewhat defined eye wall there. Looks like it's actually breaking down a little bit. Let's hope. Next, looking at the water vapor map. Let's see if this gives us any more insight. And I don't really see any dry air in its path. Part of the reason why it's going to move so quickly. It's going to deflect off of this dry air and make this turn to the northeast big time. So at least it's going to not take its time. And the outer bands of that already making landfall as we make the live stream. Hey, Smash team, thanks for tuning in. We've got bonus features. Allow me to vanish. First bonus feature is an endorsement of the first merch that we made, smAsho Price My First Pandemic. Again, don't forget to enter the promo code MANSA. Thanks for everybody who ordered stuff from the merch, from the affiliate links, and so on. We greatly appreciate that. It is a huge benefit to the channel. It, again, like Patreons, increases the likelihood that we will continue to make the videos and make them publicly accessible and make them free. So perhaps consider a Smash shirt color. Don't forget to enter the promo code MANSA on any orders at Teespring. That'll save you 10% through October 31st. Thanks for flying on American Smashways. Please keep your head on arms inside the smash plane at all times, as we would not want to see you get dismembered at the Smash News Network. We've got bonus features in the form of a 131 angstroms 48-hour SDO video, a colorized magnetogram, and an intensitygram to show you the ombre that we've been looking at. First, the colorized magnetogram. And when I did show prep, there were certainly ombre up there. There were certainly ombre on Sunspot 2778, and there were certainly ombre right here. Will we get 2 more named Sunspot groups? I have no idea. But you can see a little bit. Oh, okay, that one's largely decayed, so that one will likely not get named. And the one down here is gone also, so there were ombre there when I did show prep. This happens regularly. There's 2778, and you can see a quite symmetrical system there. And actually, the likelihood of solar flare activity is actually getting higher as it moves toward its setting mode at the southwestern portion of the limb. And it all has to do with magnetic flux ropes and the path that electrons take as they travel around the magnetic flux ropes and their energy states and the shape of those magnetic flux ropes. It's pretty much a physical process. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. Remember, stare at the sun, don't drink, and if you do, don't drive. And since it'll never be now again, may that solar wind be at your back, that covidiously absent from your doorstep. And may you visit our links and support our efforts. Dude, did you forget to bring a gold piece? Charon's not going to let you on the boat unless you have a gold piece. Oh, you're astrally projecting. But you can't astrally project to Stygia. It's an outer plane. Oh, COVID. COVID, you're so funny. Oh, dude, must have gotten embarrassed.